do that. And I was able to download that. So I can also share that too.
That's great. All right. Well, as we begin, I'd love for everyone to do an exercise together with me. So if it works for you to stand up, that would be great. You can do it sitting down too. Right. So think about something that you don't like to do. And imagine that you had to do a lot of this thing, and show in your body what it would be like if you had to do a lot of this thing over and over and right? What would that be like in your body if you had to do this all the time? So showing what that would be like in your body. So just lift your eyes while you're in this position and look around at everyone else. And imagine if you had to live your life like this, work like this, have friends and relationships like this. Not good, right? Oh, shake that off. Ooh. So now imagine something that you love to do, and let's say you got to do it over and over. You could change it up as much as you wanted. Maybe you got paid really well for that. Show that in your body of what that would be, right? So while you're doing this, look around at everyone else too, right? And imagine now living your life like this and working like this and being in a relationship with people like this. How's this seem?
Do you want to go inside?
So feel free to have a seat. Feel free to have a seat again if you want. Oh, so do you typically do that in your life? Do you live in that way that feels so great? Right? And if you don't, like, why not? Why do people not do this? Feel free to unmute and just jump in and share if you have something you want to share.
Society, what we're told we're supposed to do.
Right. Anyone else?
Not sure what it is that would make us happy, or what would make me fully happy, fully free, fully energized, and mental health.
Well, you noticed that in your body, right? You imagined what that was, and you felt that in the moment, right? So you did something that gave you that sense.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, so unfortunately, our society teaches us that what has value is hard work. So we're taught to do the thing that feels really bad, right? And then also, I think we tend to imagine that everyone is like us. So if something is really easy and energizing for us, we just imagine, oh, everyone can do that. There's nothing special. Why would I focus on this thing? Right? And I think that the thing that energizes us and makes us feel so much joy and ease, that it's really special about us, and that I think it's great, right, that we allow that to express more. I know Norm popped out. He may come back in. He has trouble with his internet sometimes. Oh, let's see. So I think that the way that we feel, when we feel so much joy and energy like that, I think it's of tremendous value. I think that it's not only great for us. I think that when we engage in that way, when we do everything that way, we also provide a lot of value to others. So I think it's a great place to be. So we often need reminders because our culture teaches us against that, teaches us to go in the other direction. So having tools and having tips and having reminders and a way of, other people in our lives that support us doing that really helps us continue to live in that way. So the shortcut and there's a little bit of music in the background too. I don't know if that's a tension. It's okay. So the tool that I use to get there are our eyes. Like, eyes are a window to the soul. Right? So most of us are familiar with that. Oh, maybe we're moving inside.
Yes, it's getting too hot. It's super hot out there. I'm baking. Okay.
I appreciate you taking care of yourself. So the shortcut I use is that the phrase eyes are a window to the soul. I believe that our eyes share so much information about what this is for us, how we can access this place where we feel ease and joy and energy. And I think that everybody reads eyes all the time. We all pick up so much information about each other through our eyes, and you can get a sense of this for yourself. Do you imagine when you've met someone with dark sunglasses and you can't see their eyes? And then as soon as you see their eyes, right, there's things missing. You can tell that something's missing. And as soon as you see their eyes, there's so much there. So I believe that we all do this all the time, of reading each other's eyes. So I use a set of archetypes to describe what I see in people's eyes, to describe the soul, right, that shines through our eyes. And I call those so those are archetypes. This whole month is about archetypes. I don't know if you've been here earlier in the month. For me, archetypes are like a model or a description for a set of characteristics. So like a simpler set of, it's a model or a, what's the word of it? Just a symbol for a set of characteristics so that we all know what we're talking about. So like when I say cat, chances are you're imagining something with fur, and you're imagining something that has a tail, right? And probably has 4 legs, right? So we're all, right, little ears, right? So we all end up imagining something similar, whether or not it's a house cat, pardon me. I have a delivery. I may need to grab my dog. One moment.
Okay, I'm gonna grab.
It's cute little dog. Oh my gosh, I love the problem of it being too hot outside.
I know. It's like,
Lorelei, I'm impressed presenting with
oh,
this little puppy.
Quiet.
oh.
So yes, this is my dog. So I'm just learning life with a dog, and so he adds extra noise. And so you don't think of this when I say cat, right? So you
No.
get the difference. So archetypes allow us to know that we're all talking about something similar. Sweetie, please be quiet. And the archetypes that I use to describe what I see in people's eyes are called ThriveTypes, archetypes for thriving. And so for me, like when you each were imagining that thing that's so easy that you love, like that's when you're, I use the archetypes to attempt to describe what that is. So my archetypes are a whole set of ranges, and we want to see which are the ones that are yours. And I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you what these look like and talk about them a bit. And I say, and these are on the web, so you can, don't look out the window. So these are on the web, so you can get a bunch of them off my website. And then I also have them up on this handout that I'll show you. All right, let me share my screen. Whoops. It's going to stop your sound share though, all right?
Oh yeah, sorry. I
Give
could
me a funny message
yeah.
that I've never noticed. All right.
Now.
Sorry everyone about the funny little logistics there. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now.
Mhm.
Great, and just so you see, just so this is on my website, and there's information here, and we'll go over that later too. So these are all the ThriveTypes, the archetypes that I see in people's eyes, and I call them archetypes for thriving. My aim is to use these to help you find that place where you thrive, where you feel so much energy and joy. Just to give you an overview of these are 7 talents. They're most directly connected to your life purpose, soul purpose.
Lorelei,
Your
is there
genius,
any way you can just blow up that circle? Because there's so much I can't tell what I'm
I'm
reading.
going to, and we're going to focus on this.
Oh, good. Okay, thank
So
you.
I want to just give you, I want to just give you an overview here.
Okay.
Yeah, so these 7 talents are most directly connected to your purpose, your genius or your sweet spot, like the place where you share your best, where you feel the best. And so we're going to focus on those today because it's a really important trait. And then this is a person's pacing or rhythm, the speed at which we integrate and share and move in the world. This is how we make decisions. This is how we most easily communicate. This is what motivates us. So I think of these as our soul. These are here before we're born. And then defense is how we protect ourselves. It forms during the first 2 years of life. And this is worldview, this is consciousness. We all start here as babies and grow. So in addition to having a set of archetypes that we each have, there are a set of lessons and how we grow and deepen in each of these. And worldview is a bit of like a meta overarching lesson. And then there are individual lessons in each of these traits where we can grow to be fluid. And there are a set of lessons of the talents, and some of the exercises I'll have you do today will be sharing some of those lessons with you. So that's just an overview of all the archetypes that I look at. Are there any questions about this?
And we can find this on your website.
It's on my website. And so This is the ThriveTypes.com. And if you scroll down here, it's right there. So you can get to this there.
Okay, thank you.
Right. All right. And then, yeah, so I think we're going to go right to the 7 talents and we're going to go focus on these. So as I mentioned, the 7 talents are most directly connected to purpose. If you could only know one of your thrive types, I think that knowing your talents or knowing even one of your talents is really the most important thing. So we're going to focus on these. They describe what you do best and how you could best do everything that you do. And I mean them not to be like boxing, like you're only limited to these things, but really we often put ourselves in boxes. So for example, I describe myself as having these 3, but my dad had this one and my mom had this one, and I thought I had to be like them. Like I got more love and attention when I acted like them. And there are some specific ways they even taught me to be more like them. So we also have a set of masks, like false beliefs in who we are. And those are things that usually take more work, more energy to accomplish. And we're not nearly as good at those things as people that naturally have a talent. So my aim is to help people get a sense of what their natural talents are. Usually as soon as their attention comes to it, they're like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. And that's easy. And, you know, people wouldn't realize that all these traits, right, all these characteristics are connected to that, that are so connected, right, to that one talent. So it just helps people have a better tangible experience, right? So for you to have a better tangible experience of who you are and what your gifts are, and maybe you'll see that you already do them, and maybe you'll give yourself permission to do it more, and maybe you'll give yourself permission to not do those things that you realize now aren't naturally true for you. Okay. So I do describe, so there are these 7. I describe each person as having 3, and they come in an order of priority. We won't worry so much about the order today. Mostly I want to help you get a sense of what they are, what they feel like in you, and a sense of maybe which ones you have. And they're organized in a circle, really because they're all equal. It's not an eye, even though it happens to also look like an eye. And they're organized in a particular way where these 3 on this left side over here are more extroverted, meaning that people that have them more easily connect with many people at once. People that have these 3 over here are naturally more introverted, meaning they easily connect with one person at a time. And this one's in between introverted and extroverted. And then they're pairs. And as I go through and describe them, I'll describe them in pairs also. All right, and outside here is what they naturally value. And in here is what bothers them or alerts them or triggers them to do something. All right, great. Any other comments before I keep going? Just want to give you an opportunity to jump in.
Can everybody see this okay?
Mhm. I'm
Okay.
actually going
Great.
to, I'm going to grab my glasses. Keep
Sure,
going.
go
I
ahead.
can hear you on my phone.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, can you blow this up at all? Because I can't see this very well.
Yeah, let me see if I can. How's that?
There we go. That's better. Yes, thank you.
Great. All right, so I'm going to describe, I'm going to go through and I'll describe them first, and then we're going to do some exercises to embody them. Okay, great. So yeah, so just the verbal description first. And as I go through, you might notice just from the descriptions, which ones feel really easy and natural that you might have them, which ones, if any, feel like you should be. And those might really be yours, or they might be ones you've been taught to be. And then which ones just totally don't feel like you. Okay? So server and priestess are both about people. Server wants to see, honor, and love people just as they are, wants them to feel welcome, included, accepted. However they are is totally okay. And not just about people, really also about all of life. So animals, plants, all of nature. And what bothers them is when people are insensitive or mean, they want to jump in and stop that from happening. So whereas server so sees and honors what's here right now, they're about feelings in the moment. Priestess sees what's here, but they also see what's possible. They want to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. These emotions to pull people forward. They're passionate. They have strong opinions about things sometimes. They notice if someone's avoiding the emotional truth and they want them to face it. Right? So feelings in the moment and emotions grounded in time. Sage and artisan are the space between. Sage is the space between people. They want this easy, flowing, fun, interactive dance of people connected in community. They often use humor and storytelling storytelling to get people to connect and engage. They notice if the group is stuck and they do something to get the group flowing again. Artisan is the space between what exists. So instead of seeing what's here now or problems, they see up through that and say, cool, solution. And they draw in all these amazing ideas and experiences so everyone has access to them. They're about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. They notice if things are ordinary or boring and do something to make it more interesting. Queen, King, and Warrior are both about action. Queen, King is rare. They see a great big opportunity to take action and they direct others to take action. And they notice incompetence. If you can't do and won't do what you say you can do, you're a useless resource to them. So they do a version of off with your head. Warriors are really grounded, practical doers. They want things to be solid, useful, efficient, effective, just move forward, make results happen. They love to develop, follow, and enforce a process, and they're bothered by waste. They want all energy to go into producing useful results. And then scholars are the integrators or assimilators. They're drawing everything in, connecting everything together in a map to create deeper meaning. They follow their curiosity, ask questions, and they notice missing and wrong information. So we're going to go into embodiment experiences about these in a moment. Are there any just comments or questions about them right now? Okay, great. So I want to check with everybody. All right. So we're going to do something with them that I've never done before. Let me turn off the share screen. So yeah, we're going to do something I've never done before. We're going to play around with how to embody them in some new ways. And so I'm going to take us through each of them, what they're alerted by, so you get an experience of what they're alerted by. One of the really old lessons that if you have it, you've typically grown through that, or you might go there again when you feel scared or stressed. And then I'll take you through the maturation lessons of them. So you get a sense of what the earlier lessons are, and then also what the deepest possibility of a lesson is. And the deepest possibility one, it might be hard to be with that one because you might not have grown there yet. So just because you don't identify with that one doesn't mean you don't have it. All right, any other comments or questions? All right, here we go. So let's see, I'm just putting you up higher up on my screen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll make my notes just a little bigger too. All right. So you can do this one sitting. The first one's sitting. So we're going to do server first. So servers are about honoring and seeing all life. So imagine in front of you, there's an animal, a little animal, and someone's about to hurt it. Right? So just no. Right? So this energy of like, no. Right, and protect this animal. No. And if you want, feel free, you can unmute and we can all make sound at the same time. It's up to you. So you get like someone's about to hurt it and that immediate like to stop it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say an old lesson. Yeah, and the animal's okay. No one's hurt it. So an old lesson is, so imagine someone did something to you and you're taking it personally, right? Wrinkle your brow. And then with your hands, like, how could you do this? How could you do this? Right? So taking that personally, oh, okay, shake this off. Oh, yeah. All right. So now, let's say, so reach out to someone with a caring question looking towards them and say out loud if it helps you and says, how can I help? How can I help?
Okay.
How can I help? Right? That feeling, how can I help? Now the next one, so move your hands from your heart out to other people's hearts. It might be the other people on the screen, right? Sharing love with them, imaginary people out around you. Great. And now, so now use your hands to apply love to yourself. It might be on your heart, or you might hug yourself, or you might be sprinkling love on you, fairy dust on you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just if you want to share right now too, for whom does that really feel familiar, right? So taking something personally, maybe in your history, wanting to protect an animal, caring and reaching out to help, right? Sending love to someone else and loving yourself. So just noticing. So if you want to, take any notes if you want about that one. Okay. Great. So the next one we're going to look at is priest, priestess. And remember, they're the ones that see not only what's here, they see the potential. I want to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach it. Okay, so now imagine there's someone in front of you and they're not reaching their full potential. Shake your hands towards them a bit, like, you don't see your gifts. See your gifts. I want you to see your gifts. Right? I want you. Come on. Right? That feeling. So that's the thing that alerts priests. Okay, now the next one, and this is the old lesson. So imagine you have a young adult child, or sorry, a young adult child, so maybe like a 20-year-old that's not being responsible at work, and they got a warning, like they could get fired, right? So you're worried about them, and so you say, you have to do better. You got to do better. I really need you to do better. Right? I need you to do better. Right? And sometimes this gets turned into yourself. So now imagine you got to do better. You got to do better. Come on, you got to do more. Right? So that's when priest, priestess sometimes gets directed out and sometimes gets directed inwards. So go ahead and shake that off if that feels. Whew. All right, so now this one, I encourage you to stand for this one. So not to be perfect here, you're not to be perfect here, but so in goodness, stand and reach your arms up and raise your body to the highest and feel the alignment, right, towards the highest come through your body. So there's that. And then now hold your arms open in a curved position, looking outwards at everyone, saying, look at what we could do, what we all could do. Come on, I know we all could do this. Right? And now, hold your arms in a gentler space, looking all around you. You might be looking at the other people around you. And so now you want to be connecting to the perfection of all that is right now, just as it is. Right? All the things in your space, the people in your space, the perfection of how it is now. Take deep breaths as you appreciate the perfection of how it is now. Come on back to your seat. So priest, priestess is about seeing that potential and wanting that potential to be reached. Now go ahead and take any notes if that feels familiar to you. Doesn't feel familiar to you, etc.
Laureli, you mentioned that you see the perfection that is here now. Okay.
The most mature lesson of priest, priestess is seeing how it's all perfect right now.
Okay.
Right? And that even while we're growing to deeper potential, the pathway towards it is perfect. No rush. No more is needed, even though more is possible. All right, great. The next one we're going to look at is sage, where sage is about playfulness, fun, community, connection between people. All right, so now imagine you're at a dance party and no one is dancing. Reach out to everyone, encouraging them, and move your body in a way to get everyone to come dancing with you. Come on, everyone. So that's what alerts them and what they do. So now an old lesson, and you might want to do this one standing for maximum effect. So puff out your chest, put your chin up a little bit, and swagger. Me, pay attention to me. Me. All right, so go ahead and shake that off. So now, laugh out loud, joke out loud, stories. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Come on, everyone. Let's have fun. Woohoo. Ha, ha, ha. So now look around playfully at your space. Maybe notice any patterns of anything in your space. and gesture your hands towards some of these things, imagining them playfully interacting, and make whatever sounds come through you about that.
Oh my God.
So now, outstretch your arms and you're looking further out to the distance with each of your hands. And imagine there's a community over there that you're part of, and there's a community over here that you're part of. And I notice I'm swaying too. So feel free to move your body with some of this as you want. And imagine that community over there and this community over here coming together. You're bringing them together and they're connecting. All right, great. So go ahead and take any notes on that one if you want. That's sage, right? Playful connecting. All right, next one is artisan. So artisans are about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. Oh, now you can do this one sitting or standing. You're bored. You're just so bored. It's so ordinary. Exaggerate whatever this is for you in your body and your, whatever sounds. This is so boring. Right? That's what artisans are alerted by. Now an old lesson. So everything you look at, no, no, rebellion, no. And the artisans have shiny, squirrel, and every time you look at one of those, no, no. So is this easy or is this challenging? You get to find out what that's like. So go ahead and shake that off if that doesn't feel good to you. So now, let's see. So look up and out and reach out into space. There are all these ideas, all these experiences that you want to go explore. Oh, and that, and that, and that. Now, imagine delicious food. You can see what's going to be some delicious food. See it, smell it, the texture of it on your tongue, taste it, savor it, right? Whatever that is for you. Make any sounds that are part of the savoring experience if you want. Now, feel a new invention coming through you. It might be coming from the universe to you. It might be coming up through your body. This new invention is coming, right? So stay present to this awareness of this new invention coming in while you take, if you're up, take some steps forward. You're making this real in the world. So if you want to stand up with me, sorry. Stand up, this invention's coming in, and you're making this real in the world. So go ahead and take some notes. This feels, right? What do you notice about this one?
What was the name of that one?
This is the artisan.
Oh, we're still, oh, okay.
These are good, Laureli.
Thanks, glad you're having fun. So the next one we're going to do is Queen King, and keep in mind that this one's rare. All right, so now someone said they'd do something for you and they didn't do it. They told you they were capable and they clearly were not. Feel anger, irritation, like, how dare you waste my time and energy? How dare you? How dare you?
Off with your head.
Yes, off with your head.
I don't have time for you.
All right, now an old lesson. Cross your arms, look down. Imagine other people are little. And think, judge, idiots, fools. So go ahead and shake that off. If that So imagine you have a new plan and you're going to destroy everything that's here to make space for this new plan. Just destroying the things that are here. Right? Feel that attitude in you. Right? So now imagine your
Yeah, I
plan.
just said this thing.
What's that? Did you?
She said the same thing that I said at the same time. I think she said it doesn't exist. I said the exact same thing. It's not there.
This is so hard to do when it's not what your talent probably is. Yep.
Right, that's the idea. Is you
Great examples.
experimenting with this, right? Trying them on is a great way. It's also a great way to learn to read them in others. So now imagine your plan in front of you. And now imagine your plan is bigger and grander. Right? And look out at imagining everyone wanting to see it and be part of it. Now imagine everyone, they're lined up here in front of you. They're applying to work with you, to work for you. Be discerning and choose what they get to do and give them directions. Oh, you could do blah, 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 blah. You could do this. Please, you do this. You do this. You go build that. Right, go ahead and take any notes. That was King, Queen, power.
Yeah, I know that you're being really mindful about categorizing, but I can feel how like server comes in with that big plan. Yeah, I can feel the different the different talents coming in, even though I'm trying to designate to one.
Yeah, and so the idea is that, right, society works, we have all of them together and we all do different things.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to do warrior. So imagine someone typing slowly with one finger on each hand, and you're watching them. You're just watching them. You have to sit there and watch them. And you feel impatient. You want to jump in and do it for them. You want to make suggestions for how they could do it differently or better. You just want to get up and go. You can't handle watching this anymore. Okay. All right, and then the old lesson. So now imagine between here and there, wherever you need to go, there are some bowling pins in the way. So get up your elbows and go through those, run through those bowling pins and just knock them out of the way so you can get to where you need to go. And as the early lesson of warrior, realize these are actually people. So shake that off.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now stand. Put your hands on your hips and your legs slightly apart. Bend your knees a little bit and bounce slightly from leg to leg, ready to take action. Look around, see what's coming, what's needed, and be ready to take action. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to do a version of a yoga pose. So while your legs are apart, choose one foot to point towards the outside. Take your other hand and put it out with your palm down. And now for the leg that's pointed, put your arm out, but turn your palm up. And lean down into your knee of that hand where your palm is up. And look out to the future, down along your arm, off this outstretched hand. And out there is what you're going to accomplish. And feel that grounding in your body. And you're ready to take action on that thing. Okay, great. And now, let's see, so feel your energy into the ground. Put your arms out to the side, including your team. So your team is here with you. And take a couple of steps forward. We're all going to get this done together. All right, great. Go ahead and take any notes on that. That was warrior.
All right. So when I'm doing, when I'm observing somebody and I'm like going through that, like, oh, I wish I could help them, or I'm making a suggestion, but I kind of inject humor. So is that because I'm finding a coping mechanism rather than being irritated?
It's actually a combination of several different traits. It could be, and it could be that you're bringing your natural talents into something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is it better just to like walk away?
This is complex.
It is complex. I know.
Just to notice which things might irritate you or alert you.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
the solution of what to do.
All right. Thank you.
So the next one is scholar. The next and the last one is scholar. It's the one at the bottom of the wheel. So now imagine you're hearing a politician's speech, or you're reading a story in the news, hearing a story in the news, and if it's written, there are typos, there's incorrect grammar being said, they're incorrect facts. They're not referencing the history of this subject. Shake your head and roll your eyes. Ah, what are they thinking? Ah, how could they not have? Ah. So now imagine that you need to read and learn about some big topic on the internet. Like, you need to know it all. You need to really remember it. So scurry from page to page on the internet, skimming, reading, trying to remember, and back and forth. And you got to know all of it. So go ahead and shake that off. Now, appropriate time, it's time to do your taxes. Gather data from here and here and here, and put it in categories. Look up formulas, right, on the web or in a book. Yeah. Gather the data.
Hire an accountant.
Call my accountant.
Well, yeah, that would be good. You get the idea. Okay, now someone's giving you a 3D puzzle, right? It may have maybe mechanical, it has words, numbers. Someone's giving you this puzzle, right? So turn it around and look at it and like to figure out, like, pull in some pieces and see how it works. And you can look something up on the internet about it. But you could call your friend or ask your neighbor, how does this all work? Right? Because you're going to solve it. All right, great. And then the next one, and this one you could do standing. So when I want to contrast something, so what this one is not going to be, it's not going to be figuring it out. So figuring it out is when your eyes narrow and you're crinkling your forehead and you want to figure something out. It's not that. Instead, it's with your arms open wide and you're in wonder. So looking around, it's not that there's an answer you're trying to find somewhere, you're just open, right? I wonder, I wonder. So bring to your heart, to your mind, some problem. It could be in your life, it could be in the world, right? And you're open and you're wondering. And know that you're part of this. It could be, it's in your life, so you're part of it. It could be in the world and you're part of it. We're all part of this, right? So while you're breathing with your arms open, ask aloud to the universe, what's wanted here, right? What's wanted? And aha, a solution is arriving. The solution is arriving. All right, go ahead and take some notes. That's scholar.
Will there be a time to ask a couple questions?
There will be.
Okay, cool.
And I put a document in the chat that you don't need to look at right now. That this document isn't on my website, which is why I've got in the chat. And I'm going to share my screen and I'll show it to you right now. So this is that wheel of the 7 talents, and I have some images of fluid flow so that you can feel them this way too. So server sends love to someone else's heart, right? And they're also loving of themselves. They learn to be loving of themselves. Priest, priestess wants things to grow to reach their potential. Now let's go. And they're also about refining everything, right? In alignment. And they also trust that everything's perfect. Sages want the dance of everyone together in community. Artisans have attention in all these places to make things that are beautiful and elegant and find solutions, inventions to things from who knows where, bringing them in. Queen King sets to change a paradigm, to bring a whole new plan into existence, and they get other people to build it. Other people deal with the mess. Warrior is grounded and practical, just push through, make it happen. And they do it all themselves until they grow to allow others to help. And scholars are like funnels, pulling it all in into a map to create deeper meaning. So that's in the chat if you want to reference it. Just going to stop share. All right, so if there are any questions, I could take brief questions now, and we're getting ready to do a paired exercise where you get to share about your learnings with a partner.
Yeah, I'd like to ask, so in the example with the warrior, we were knocking down bowling pins, and then you said those were actually people. So in those lessons, are people viewed as waste?
So this is in the early lessons of Warrior, they're all about the task and getting it to happen, and they actually can kick people out of the way and hurt people in the process because they're not about valuing people. So if you take the talent on its own, that's what it's about. And I knew if I told you that they were people in the beginning, right, you'd have all kinds of other things that got in the way of it. So how'd you do it with bowling pins first?
Yeah.
So you could feel what that energy is like.
And then is there a rhyme or reason why the king queen is so rare?
Yeah, I tease and I say, well, they're the leaders. They need a bunch of followers.
Uh,
And the thing that's interesting too is the people that naturally have this talent tend to avoid each other. They have their own little queendoms.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I should say too, maybe there are more and more artisans in the world, like continuously, like more and more artisans. So I don't know why, and that's just what's so.
I have I just want to clarify the difference between server and priest priestess. I kind of feel like different parts of me are caught between the two.
Sure, I know. Sorry, you got the sound thing.
Oh,
server
sorry.
and priestess. Sure. So yeah, and this is part of what you explore. So server is about love in the moment. It's about seeing and honoring people as they are right now. Priest priestess sees how people are now, and they see the potential. They want them to grow. And part of what's tricky is if someone has priest priestess second in the order of the 3 talents, it gets directed inwards, and they see for themselves how they need to grow. And they're very gentle with how they are with other people. So it can feel the most like server. And people can have both priest and server, priestesses and server, because remember, people have 3.
Well, I have other 2s like other, I want to pick one of those so I can pick 2 other ones. No.
Yeah. You know, it's getting close to like imagining that you have 4 is heading into the zone, right? And I'm going to give you some feedback about your eyes later.
Okay.
So you'll get some feedback from me too. All right. So you're going to have, I think, let's say you have like 10 minutes to maybe let's try 8 minutes and see. So you can either do 4 minutes, take turns, or you can just have a dialogue for about 8 minutes about what you discover, what your questions are about that. All right. And so I'll put two of you are going to be in a breakout room together, and then Barbara, I'll have you go to a breakout room after we get it set up. All right. Is that good? Okay, here we go. So Barbara, if you can go to breakout room 2. I think you can take yourself to 2. Oops, I can't hear you.
Oh, Mary's my client, so hopefully it's not her. I don't.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. Can you talk with her, or do you want me to bring her out here and we can all talk?
This is fine. This is fine.
Okay.
I don't see where I go in though.
So click on breakout room.
Oh, there I see it. Okay,
and
got
then
it.
click join. Yeah.
Jeez. No, now I have.
It might say 0 and say hover over room 2. There's a number, maybe a number 1. Click the number 1 and it'll turn into a join.
Got it. we got questions.
All right, I'm ready for questions. So tell me about what you learned to discover and what questions you have. And Barbara, the recording's still on, so I don't know what you.
Oh yeah, I can turn it off. Or pause it.